Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Merchant Seaman community where men and women are not alone at sea because the Merchant Seaman community is here for he or she. Before I get started, please ask you guys and gals, take 10 seconds, take your pointer, take your mouse, and right there. Hit the like button, subscribe, share, and please leave a comment. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about what to expect working entry level as an OS, ordinary seaman, on your first ship and some of your duties and responsibilities. You'll be asked to do a lot of cleaning of the house. So the house is just like a regular house. It's the portion of the ship where we have our bedrooms, which our bedrooms we call staterooms, where you have the laundry room, the gymnasium, the galley, the kitchen, and inside of the house you have different decks. You have like A deck, B deck, C deck. So you'll be asked to, especially with COVID going on, you'll be asked to take sanitizer or take a rag with some bleach and water and wipe down all the handrails in the staircases. If you see any fingerprints or marks on the bulkhead, which is the wall, bulkhead is what we call the wall, wipe down the walls. You'll be asked to sweep and mop the staircases. You'll be asked to sweep, mop, and sometimes buff and wax the floors inside of the house. You'll be also asked to do a lot of chipping and painting. Because you're out at sea, the salt inside of the salt water eats away at metal and causes it to rust. So it'll be a lot of things out on deck that you'll be asked to remove the rust, to chip it away with a needle gun, take a wire wheel, clean up the rust, then put primer and paint it. Then there'll be times where a new piece of metal will be installed out on deck. Let's say someone from the engine department installed a new piece of metal piping or a metal valve. Then you will need to, put primer and paint on that piece of metal piping and valve to prevent it from starting to rust. And then there'll be other items on the ship where, it has old paint. It hasn't been painting in a while. So you'll need to, put a fresh coat of paint on it to prevent it from starting to rust. And because you'll be doing a lot of painting on the ship, whenever the ship gets stores, which store just means supplies. Whenever the ship gets a supply of paint, it'll be a lot of paint, and you might be asked to put away and arrange all this paint inside of the paint locker. And the paint locker is just a room designated to store all of the paint. You'll also be asked to put out the pilot's ladder. Okay, so what's a pilot's ladder? So just like you have a pilot for an airplane and how that pilot makes sure the plane comes in for a safe landing, you have these pilots that are designated for like whatever port you're going into, whatever dock you're going to be docking at. That particular pilot, he knows that particular waterways for that particular dock. So what will happen is a small boat will come along the side of the ship. A small boat will come along the side of the ship, and then the pilot's ladder that you might be asked to put out, then that pilot will leave that small boat. He'll reach over, grab the ladder, pilot's ladder, and then he'll use that pilot ladder to come up and board our ship, and then he'll go and get set up to bring the ship into dock. Once the ship gets to the dock, then you'll be asked to help tie up the ship. So, you'll be asked to, go ahead and set up the different ropes, or which on the ship we call it lines. So you'll be asked to help and go set up the different lines that you'll be using to help tie up the ship. And these lines have to be laid out a certain way. They need to be placed a certain way. You have whatever things need to be set up to help tie up the ship, you'll be assisting in that. So you're gonna, once you actually get to the dock, then you help lower the lines or the ropes down to a group of people or someone on the dock, and then they take those lines and then they put it on this metal post. I believe they call it a ballard, but they put the ropes coming from the ship onto those metal posts. So those metal posts are what keeps the ship alongside of the dock and keep the ship from drifting away. So like I said, you'll be asked to help with tying up the ship. Once the ship is tied up, then you'll be more than likely asked to help put out the gangway, or you also hear it referred to as accommodation ladder. So the gangway or the accommodation ladder, that's the ladder that is used to come onto the ship, and it's the ladder that's used to come off of the ship, or to go from the dock up to the ship. You have to use the gangway or accommodation ladder. Or if you're leaving the ship, in order to get from the ship down to the dock, then you're going to use that accommodation ladder. Some of your other duties, responsibilities, you will be asked to, when it's time to leave that dock, then you'll be asked to help untie the ship. So it'll be the same thing in reverse. You have the people on the dock side. They'll remove the ropes from that metal post. They'll release them, and then it'll be your responsibility to get those ropes back up on board to the ship and put back in place where they belong. Another one of your responsibilities is removing trash from the ship. Now, some ships burn trash and some ships don't burn trash. But either way, if you have a ship that does burn trash, there'll always be a certain amount of trash that they are not allowed to burn. So you'll be asked to collect all of that trash, and they normally go inside of these big white bags, and I believe they're called totes. But anyway, it's these big, huge white bags, and you put the trash inside of them, and then the ship has its own crane. So someone would get on the ship's crane, and they will, pick up these big, huge bags of trash, and then they'll pick them up and put them onto the dock, or sometimes they'll put them onto a small little boat, and then that boat will take it where it needs to go to be disposed of. That's it for this video, guys and gals. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to continue to try to give you guys and gals a behind the scenes look at what it is to be a merchant seaman, so you'll have an idea of what it is you're getting into if you decide to go into this industry. Please, everyone, be kind to one another. Let's help each other out. And remember, if you don't like the direction your life is going, if you don't like the course your life is headed, then you grab the steering wheel and you don't wait for your life to change. You change the direction, or you change the course of your own life. Thank you guys and gals so much for watching. See you in the next video.